Hey, what's up guys? Exalted here, and in today's video, what I'm going to be teaching you is I'm going to be teaching you guys how to get more kills when it comes to arena mode and when it comes to pop-up cup tournaments. Now, before I start the video, I just wanted to say that all the gameplay that you're going to see in this actually comes from my Twitch stream. I would really appreciate it if you guys followed that. And also, don't forget to use code EXALTED in the item shop. With that being said, let's get right into the video and why exactly I want to make this video. So here I'm going to show you why it's actually so important to get high kills and high kill games when it comes to arena mode and especially tournaments. So as you can see here, I got 46 points, placed top 500, and got 24 elims with 22 placement points. Now out of all the players that got 46 points, I placed almost the highest. You can see here's 47, and because of that, I got a higher placement, and the players below me, there's a lot of people with 46 points, but they were below me because one, they didn't get a win, or they got less eliminations than I did. So you can see here, getting those eliminations really puts you up a ton of placement points, and it's super beneficial. I'll go ahead and show you another example of that when it comes to duos. So here's another example of me and my duo partner. We got 34 elims and 22 placement points, and as you can see, there are only a few players ahead of us with the same amount of points, but these players did have two wins, which is a higher tiebreaker than kills, but kills is the next tiebreaker. So out of all the people that got 56 points and one win, we placed the highest because everyone above us has 2 wins, if that makes any sense. But you can see how this really affects what placement you get and how important it is to actually get more kills. Now with that being said, let's get right into the video. Pro Guides is an amazing place where you can find anything from beginner to super advanced tips, whether that's how to get more kills or how to correctly rotate for late game. They actually just filmed a whole series with Mongrel himself, and there's dozens of other courses as well. There's also custom stats, tools, and a 24/7 professional Fortnite coach that you can talk to at any time. They really work hard at increasing your win rate, KD, and just overall skill level. I highly recommend it. Please consider clicking my link in the description below. So for tip number 1, I want to talk about how I practice in arena mode. As you can see in this clip right here, I have about 75 health and I decide to push the player in front of me. He just got a kill, meaning he's most likely going to have more health than me from the siphon, more mats, better guns, but this is all part of the practice. You can see in my videos that I'm constantly jumping between about 300 points and 400 points. What I do is I play safe, I get a lot of points, about almost 400, and then I W key it and throw all my games away. The reason why I do this is I like to practice those 1v1 engagements, so I'll push any player I see no matter my situation. The reason why this is really good is because if I'm on low health and the opponent is on higher health, I have to play safer and I have to play smarter, and if I get good at that and I get good at practicing while at a disadvantage, when it comes to those tournaments and it's an equal fight, whether we both have 200 health or whatever, I will most likely win those fights, and I'll know how to win them quicker and safer and taking less damage. This next clip here, I get a really nice kill, and you can really see how I play slow and how I play smart. My moves are very slow and calculated. I'm waiting to see what the opponent will do, and I'm not just full bum rushing a ramp rush into the air trying to push the player. What I do next is I start to box fight the player. I know I hit him a few times with my shotgun, so I'm going to go ahead and box fight this player, and I'll go in depth on box fighting players a little later into this video. I do this in a way where I won't get third partied, and I'm really safe. I have a lot of tips and tricks on how to get into opponents' boxes, so if you guys want help with that, go check out my other videos. But when it comes to box fighting, it is a super safe way to hopefully get a kill without getting third partied if you're good at it. Now that leads us straight into how to not get third partied. Getting third partied is really hard to avoid, especially in tournaments, because there are up to 50-60 people in those very last circles, which means there is somebody everywhere looking at every single angle. But during mid-game, it's a little bit easier to not get third partied, and one huge mistake that a lot of players make is they'll pinpoint a part on the map, pretty much saying where they want to go, whether it's a zone rotation or whatever it might be, and they beeline straight towards that pinpoint. They're not really looking right and left, they're turning on auto run, and what they're missing out on is they're not going through that extra effort to jump to prevent getting sniped and looking around you. When you're looking around you constantly, you usually will spot opponents quicker than they will spot you. Now the reason why this is beneficial is because if you see a team in front of you, but you're looking around, you know if there are other players around you. If there are other players around you, you might decide to not take that fight and to just continue going to zone, Or if there aren't players around you, you know that, and you can go into that fight and hopefully kill the players as quickly as possible without getting third-partied. Now also when it comes to getting third-partied, knowing how to box fight well. A lot of players will push a player, they'll get them weak, that player will box up and they'll start breaking their walls and trying to take the wall or get into their box. But the issue is they're very exposed. The player's boxed up on the inside, or I guess the opponent's boxed up on the inside, and you're on the outside for anybody to shoot just trying to get in, and with turbo build it can be very difficult. So placing a box right next to the opponent and box fighting them is extremely beneficial. A super good way to practice box fighting is to go into creative mode with your buddy, build 2 boxes right next to each other, and switch off who gets that middle wall, and from there you will start box fighting and you'll learn a lot of really good strategies, and it'll be really easy for you to kill players in boxes, and overall it'll reduce the amount of, I guess, 50-50 luck and chance that is involved when it comes to those in-box shotgun fights where you cannot build. If you want more tips on how to box fight, I actually have a ton of videos where I teach you how to phase through walls, how to get really nice peek shots and peek angles when it comes to editing windows. I also have another really recent video where I talk about smart edits to make, especially when in box fights, because now with this new shotgun, the combat shotgun, it's really hard to shoot and reset your wall without you getting shot once or twice. So I go through really smart edits that give you right hand peek, and I go through a new way to actually peek players with windows, a super safe way, and it's really effective. So if you guys want some help with box fighting, I have tons of videos for that. And with that being said, let's get into the next tip. The next tip that I want to talk about is ending your fights as quickly as possible. Now when you look up how to get high kills and how to just play better, all the YouTubers say end your fights as quick as possible, but how exactly do you do that? It's much easier said than done. When it comes to ending fights quickly, the quickest way to kill somebody is in a 50-50 shotgun fight, where you guys are both in a box, neither of you can build because there's maybe a pyramid on the floor, and it's just whoever gets those 3 or 4 shots off quicker. Now, there are a lot of things that you can do to make that 50-50 box fight not 50-50. A 50-50 fight is not very smart because, as the name is kind of suggesting, you have a 50% chance of actually winning or losing. You never want to go into a fight like that. You always want to make sure that you have the advantage, and there are, like I said, a couple things that you can actually do, including being very aware of when they're going to edit. A lot of times players will go and try to pickaxe a wall and try to take the wall. If it's brick, they'll go through like 4 pickaxes before they can actually break the wall, and in that time you're not holding out a gun. Your opponent can actually edit on you and get a super easy shot and reset the wall. Next, when it comes to those box fights, having a health advantage is super key and super helpful for winning that fight. You can get this health advantage several different ways. If you have 200 health, you want to expect that the player has 200 health, but if you have 150, that player will most likely have 200 health, and they will win when it comes to that box fight unless they whiff all of their shots. But a few things you can do is when you see that player, hopefully you're looking around and you see them first, you can actually get a few AR shots off on them, and unless they're carrying bigs, that means they're not going to go up to 200 health, meaning it's going to be a 200 versus 150 fight, which means that your 50-50 fight when you go push and W key their box is not 50-50. You have a higher chance of winning that fight. Next, another thing that you can do is, like I said, with the editing, you want to be very aware of when they're actually going to edit on you. Now this you can kind of cheese in a few different ways. You can actually bait the opponent into editing on you, and if you are ready for it, you can get easy shots off on them. Usually they will hit you, but like I said, you are ready for it, you are ready for that headshot, and if you do more damage, you will be at that advantage. So things you can do to bait the opponent is you can pop minis or something. If you start popping minis right in front of their wall, they are definitely going to edit that and try to get a shot off on you. So pop the mini and then immediately switch back. You kind of have to learn through game sense the timing of that. Switch back to your pump shotgun right when they start editing the wall. You're really gonna pull out your shotgun before you see them do anything. So you kind of just have to expect how long it's gonna take them to figure out that you're popping minis and when they're going to edit on you. So overall, it really comes down to getting that first shot off on your opponent. Winning those fights and ending them quicker comes down to getting that first shot off, which means playing aggressive is really helpful. You can shoot at them, put them into building mode, and when they're building, they can't shoot you. So this is a really good opportunity to get that first shot off on them, and then once you get that first shot off on them, go straight into the 50-50 fight, and you'll hopefully get the kill because it is no longer a 50-50 fight. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope these tips really help you out, especially the way that I practice in Arena by W King players and learning that game sense. Remember, this gameplay did actually come from my Twitch stream, so I'd really appreciate it if you guys followed me there and used code Exalted in the item shop. With all of that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.